Is Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce still worth it in 2020? Hi guys, I'm Anthony Alsante. For those of you that are returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you that are new, hi. Like I said, my name is Anthony Alsante and I want to be your go-to guy for everything fragrances. The way I see it is my job is to instill the love and the passion for the art form that is fragrances that I have into you. If that sounds interesting to you, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I release new videos. So whether or not you're aware, you've probably smelled Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce at some point. Reason being is because Fierce is the scent that is used to scent the Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce stores globally, or at least it was in 2002 and many years after that. I'm not really sure if it is used still today to scent the stores, although I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know, so don't hold me to it. But I know in 2002 and many years after that, they had workers going around frequently spraying this stuff in the air to try to allure customers from the outside to come in to the store to buy, obviously, their clothes or fashion apparel. This fragrance can do that very well, as it is a very alluring and sexy fragrance in my opinion, but we'll get to that later on. The notes that you're gonna get out of this one are petitgrain, cardamom, lemon, orange, C notes, jasmine, rosemary, rose, lily of the valley, sage, vetiver, musk, oak moss, rosewood, and sandalwood. That is a mouthful of notes, but that's not really something that needs to intimidate you. Reason being is because I never really look at the note list when I'm thinking about buying a fragrance. What I really look at is I look at reviewers on YouTube, or I look at Fragrantica, and I look at what people are saying, and if what they say sounds interesting to me, I'll buy it. But I never really look at the note list, and that's not something that should really worry you. And I hope I have the influence on you as a lot of reviewers have on me. So I'm just gonna tell you what this fragrance smells like. When you first spray it on, by the way, wonderful atomizer. When you first spray it on, you're gonna get a blast of lemon, musk, cardamom, orange, the C notes you're gonna get, the petitgrain, just an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Not one note is going to punch out and stick out at you. It is a beautifully blended fragrance. It's blended fantastically. It is just beautiful. I don't know how else to say it. Now that I'm smelling it in the air, I'm just thinking to myself, this stuff is absolutely fantastic. Almost unbeatable if you want a mass appealing scent. This is a masterpiece, mass appealing scent. Yes, I said it. Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce is a masterpiece. Come at me if you want to. This is an absolute masterpiece of a fragrance. No, I have not worn a lot, but reason being is because I have an older bottle, but let's get into that in a little bit. This one I think is suited wonderfully for younger men and older guys who want to feel young. Obviously this one is branded towards guys who have a six-pack of abs like this or want a wonderful body like that. But even if you don't, you can rock this stuff and still get loads of compliments like I do. This stuff is absolutely fantastic, mass appealing. It's going to last, but it is not going to last as long as it used to. And this is where the old bottle really comes into play. Unfortunately, the newer batches of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, I don't really know when this one started getting reformulated, but it has been reformulated multiple times since 2002. I do have a fairly original batch of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. This stuff is way more powerful, way more potent, and way more just deep, and it's just a better fragrance in my opinion. Okay, let's just get it out there. It is a better fragrance than the new Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. But should that deter you from buying it? Absolutely not. It should absolutely not deter you from buying it, because this one is so powerful, it is going to knock people out. By the way, you could tell it's an older bottle because of the cap. It's a screw-on cap, and it has red letters. The red lettering is going to tell you this is a vintage bottle of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. If you want to pick up a full vintage bottle of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, it's going to cost you about $300 to $350 on eBay. So do I recommend you buy a vintage bottle? No, probably because it's going to be used and it's going to be probably stale by the time you get it. This stuff is 20 years old. It's losing some of the top notes, but anyway, This fragrance is going to last for a good 6 to 7 hours on you. Really nothing to complain about. This fragrance is so powerful, it gets cloying and people don't want you around. This one, I think, mellows it out a little bit and makes it more wearable than the vintage version. The vintage version would knock people out if you spray too much of it. This one, it will knock people out still if you spray too much of it, but this one, you can get away with a few more sprays and be okay with it. This one projects a good 2.5 to 3 feet for about 2.5 hours, and it's gonna last as a skin scent for 6 to 7 hours. Nothing really to complain about, but definitely not as beastly as the vintage version used to be. This stuff is still going to do wonders for you guys if you wear it confidently. If you wear anything confidently, it could work for you, but this one is going to give you a little bit of an extra edge than the others. This one is just absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna get into the overall ratings for this scent. All right, so starting off with longevity, this one is going to get a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's gonna last a good 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours if you're lucky. That is not bad, pretty average for a fragrance. 7.5 I think is a fair rating for that one. For projection, this one is going to get a 7.5 as well. It's not the best projector in the world. It's gonna give you a good 2 to 3 feet for a good 2.5 hours. And after that, it's gonna quickly become a skin scent. Nothing really to rave about there, but it's still average. What you expect in a fragrance. So for sillage is where this one is going to get a little bit of a better rating. The sillage on this one for the first hour to an hour and a half is just absolutely fantastic. This one is going to get an 8. Should I give it an 8.5 on the sillage? No, I can't do it. This one is going to get an 8 on the sillage. For compliments, this one is going to get an 8.5 to 9. 8.5 I'm going to give this one. This one gets compliments, but like I said, it is not the lasting, projecting beast that the vintage used to be. This stuff is going to sit more mellow on your skin, be more of a close bubble to you as opposed to a huge bubble. It's going to get noticed if people are close enough to you, but if they're not, they're probably not going to compliment you. This stuff still will get you compliments. 8.5 I think is fair for this one. For overall scent, I'm going to give this one an 8.7. This stuff is fantastic. It is just sad that it has been reformulated to the point where it really doesn't perform as well as it used to. And in some cases, that's not bad because, like I said, the vintage used to perform wildly and people used to get choked out by it. But if you sprayed a moderate amount of that, it just worked better than this stuff. It just worked better. There's no way around it. It worked better. Do I recommend that you get Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce in 2020? And I'm talking about the newer bottles. Do I recommend you get it? Absolutely. You should absolutely get your hands on this stuff. This is a masterpiece in mass appeal. You need it in your collection. This stuff is just beautiful. You can wear it anytime. You can wear it honestly dressed up or dressed down. The only time I wouldn't wear it, like I said, is in the high heat as it can get cloying. But other than that, this stuff is great. It's a great fragrance. You should pick it up. That's all I got for the review. This stuff is fantastic. Well guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you could do me a huge favor, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified every time I release new videos. I would really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you've ever smelled Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, I want you to let me know down in the comments what you think of it, and maybe we can have a little bit of a conversation. So guys, keep on rocking, keep on smelling great, and I will see you next time.